crazy to think about, but did you know over 250,000 murders in the U.S. are just unsolved?
Wow, that's a lot.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's families left wondering what happened, evidence sitting around, and no justice. And today we're diving into one of these cold cases, the murder of Christine Tortoro,
Okay.
a story that starts on a warm August morning in 1988 in Hartford, Connecticut.
All right.
Picture Riverside Park.
Mm-hmm.
The sun's coming up over the Connecticut River. Everything's peaceful. Birds are chirping, probably.
Beautiful.
And then everything changes with a scary discovery.
Oh.
So we have a man just enjoying his morning coffee, and he finds a woman's body by the riverbank.
Oh my goodness.
Just a horrible way to start the day.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where you think, how can an ordinary morning turn into something so horrific?
Right.
And just the thought of finding a body like that.
Yeah, and this is Christine Tortoro, a 21-year-old woman.
Okay.
She was found nude, covered in vegetation, and had defensive wounds on her hand.
Oh, that's awful.
Really disturbing.
Yeah.
And for investigators, it's like, okay, what happened here? Was this random, or was this something planned out?
Right. And the crime scene itself can tell you a lot, but it can also make things more difficult.
Yeah.
Like in this case, they couldn't identify her right away.
Right.
So they had to rely on things like forensics and what witnesses said.
And it's just unsettling, Her hands show she fought back.
Yeah, she fought for her life.
She fought for her life. The autopsy showed she was strangled,
Mm-hmm.
but there was no sign she was assaulted.
That's strange.
Yeah.
It definitely makes it harder to figure out why it happened.
Yeah. And rules some things out, but also adds so many other possibilities, like was it rage? Revenge?
Exactly.
Did someone want her quiet?
Right.
So early on, there weren't many leads.
Mm-hmm.
Someone mentioned seeing the blue pickup truck around that time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But the description was so vague, it was almost impossible to find.
Yeah. You can't do much with that.
No. But thankfully, they were able to use fingerprints to identify Christine, which gave them somewhere to start at least.
Right. It's amazing how far that technology has come.
Yeah.
I mean, being able to identify victims and connect people to crime scenes like that,
Totally.
that's huge.
Now, there was this guy, Anthony.
Okay.
Christine was seeing him, but he was married.
Oh, boy.
And there were rumors they were about to break up. Plus, Anthony had a history of violence and was involved with gangs,
Oh, no.
making him a person of interest pretty quickly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's really important to not make assumptions at this point.
Absolutely.
We have to look at everything before deciding anything.
Right. Early suspicions don't always pan out.
Exactly.
Shato.
And here's where things get interesting. Investigators found a letter Christine wrote,
Really?
addressed to Anthony,
Okay.
dated just days before her death.
Wow.
And she's pouring her heart out in this letter, saying she wants to end things.
So sad.
And it seems like he never even got the letter.
Oh, no.
Just
Ugh.
tragic.
It is. It really gives you a look into what she was going through.
Absolutely. Her hopes, fears,
Yeah. And what her relationships were like, what problems she might have been facing.
Exactly. So they talked to Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he says he's innocent, claims he was home with his wife the night Christine died.
Of course.
And it seems like he had an alibi because his neighbors, Samantha and Alex, said they saw him at a card game that night.
Oh, so they backed him up.
Yeah. But the more investigators looked into it, the more holes they found in the story.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, think about it. You always have to be careful when family or friends are giving alibis.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There could be reasons they'd lie. You know?
Right.
Maybe they're loyal, scared, or actually think the person didn't do it.
Right. And then there's the bike Christine borrowed.
Oh, right.
It was found right across the street from Anthony's house. And then there's this guy, William. He was a friend of Christine's and talked to her just hours before she died.
Wow.
She told him she was really unhappy and upset about her relationship with Anthony.
Oh, no.
And get this, they met up just a short distance from Anthony's place.
So all these places, the bike where she was last seen and Anthony's house, they're all so close.
Right.
It starts to make you wonder, right?
Yeah.
Could it all be coincidence?
Yeah, or is it all connected somehow?
It's like trying to put a puzzle together.
Exactly.
You have all these pieces and you're trying to figure out how they fit.
It's like those crime shows we all love.
Right.
You start seeing the connections and thinking, is this the truth?
Yeah, is this what really happened?
Exactly.
It really is like a puzzle.
It is. And this one stayed unsolved for years
Yeah.
until something huge came up.
Oh.
Remember Alex, Samantha's boyfriend?
Yeah, the one who said Anthony was at that card game.
Yeah, 26 years after Christine was murdered, he changed his story.
Whoa, 26 years.
Yeah, it happens sometimes with cold cases.
Yeah, I guess people get scared or don't want to get involved at first.
Right, but then things change. Maybe they feel guilty or finally feel brave enough to talk.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But what Alex said was really disturbing.
Oh, no.
He talked about a get-together at his place that night with Anthony, Sarah, and Samantha.
Okay.
Sarah said she wasn't feeling well and went up to her apartment.
Okay.
But Anthony was acting really weird, pacing around, going up to Sarah's place over and over,
Really?
and he even asked for soap.
Soap. Seems random.
Right. It seems like a small thing, but when you think about what might have happened later...
Oh, like he was trying to clean something up.
Exactly. Could be a big clue.
Wow.
And then things get worse. Alex said he heard fighting coming from Anthony's apartment.
Oh, no.
So he and Samantha went to check it out.
Eh.
They found Christine on the kitchen floor, hurt and bleeding.
Awful.
Anthony was freaking out, told him to keep quiet, and Samantha took Alex's truck and left.
Hold on. So if that's true, Christine was at Anthony's place right before she died?
Exactly.
Which means he lied about his alibi.
Right.
And taking the truck out could explain why someone saw a truck like that leaving the area.
Yeah, it all starts lining up.
It's like something out of a movie.
I know, right? Trying to hide this terrible thing they did.
Crazy.
So investigators tried to talk to Samantha again, but
Oh, what?
she'd left the country.
Oh, wow. That looks really bad.
Yeah, when a key witness does that, you got to wonder what they're hiding. And finding her when she doesn't want to be found is really hard.
Yeah, no kidding.
And just when they thought they were getting somewhere, Anthony died.
You're kidding.
Just days after Alex told the police everything.
Oh, no. So they couldn't even question him.
Nope.
That's tough for the investigation and especially for Christine's family, you know?
Absolutely. They'll never get to see him face justice.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking.
So now Anthony's gone, Samantha's missing, and there's so much they still don't know.
Yeah, like, did Anthony do it alone?
Right. And what about Sarah and Samantha? What did they know?
And what about those weird things, the soap, Samantha taking the truck?
Yeah, there's a lot to think about.
Definitely. Even without Anthony, the investigation can still go on.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They still want to get answers for Christine's family.
Yeah, and if anyone else was involved, they need to be held accountable.
Exactly. And there's still Sarah. Remember, she said she was sick that night.
Right.
But when they talked to her, her story didn't quite add up, and she seemed really disconnected from everything.
When someone close to the victim or the suspect isn't being straight, that's a big red flag.
Yeah, could mean they're hiding something, protecting someone, or even that they were involved somehow.
It makes you wonder, so what happens now?
Well, the case is still open, but with all this new information, it seems like things were way worse than they thought at first.
Right, it's not just a simple open and shut case anymore.
So the question is, was it all Anthony, the guy with a history of violence?
Yeah. Or was this a messed up plan with other people involved?
That's what they need to find out. This case really makes you think, huh?
Yeah, every time you learn something new, it's like another twist in the story.
Right, but even after all this time, they still haven't solved Christine's murder.
It really shows you that sometimes the truth can stay hidden for a long time.
Yeah.
Years, even decades.
And it makes you realize how important it is to keep looking at these cold cases.
Absolutely. You need fresh eyes, new technology. Maybe someone finally decides to talk.
And speaking of talking, they're still trying to find Samantha.
Oh, yeah, she's got to know something.
They think she's the key to figuring this all out.
I bet.
And they might even talk to Sarah again. Maybe even give her a polygraph.
Really?
Yeah, see if her story really holds up or if she's hiding something.
It's funny how time works in these cases.
How so?
Well, it can make it harder to find evidence.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But sometimes people change their minds about talking.
Oh, you mean like Alex?
Yeah, maybe they feel guilty or things are different now and they're not scared anymore.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And they're offering $20,000 for information that leads to an arrest.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
They're really hoping someone comes forward with something, anything that'll help them close this case.
Yeah, sometimes money's all it takes. Plus, maybe knowing they could help bring justice for Christine.
Exactly. Maybe that's enough to make someone talk.
You never know.
Oh, we've really gone deep into this case. It's just heartbreaking, you know?
It is. It shows you how fragile life is and how violence affects everyone, not just the victim.
And it makes you wonder, will they ever find the truth?
It's important to remember that Christine's case is just one of many unsolved murders.
Right. There are so many families out there still waiting for answers.
And communities dealing with the effects of violence.
Yeah, so what have we learned? I think Christine's case gives us hope, shows us that people don't give up on finding justice.
Yeah, and I think for us listeners, it's a reminder to pay attention. you know?
To these kinds of cases.
Yeah, and not just be bystanders.
What do you mean?
We can support the police, talk about these unsolved cases, make sure justice is a priority.
Right, even if we don't know anything about the case itself.
Exactly.
And if anyone listening does have information about Christine, anything at all,
No matter how small,
please call the Connecticut Cold Case Tip Line.
even if it seems unimportant, it could be what they need.
It could be the missing piece that finally brings justice for Christine and her family.
It's amazing what one person can do.
Absolutely. So keep thinking about it, keep those questions coming, and never think you can't make a difference.
You never know.
That's right. Well, until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and stay safe.
And remember, there's always more to uncover.